Since 1979, Sean Hennessy Expert Electrical Superstore has been your trusted name for all things electrical. From the latest TVs and appliances to everyday essentials, we've got quality, value, and expert advice all under one roof. Sean Hennessy Expert Electrical, trusted for over 40 years.
You're very welcome to Quaid Park here in Cooley for this afternoon's Irish Wire Products Limerick Senior Football Championship. It is Group 1, Round 4, and it is a meeting of two West sides, that is namely Father Casey's of Abbeyfeale and Rathkeale. My own name is Tom Clancy. I'll be on commentary duty for this one very, very shortly, and delighted to say the other half of the two Tommies is alongside me, to Tommy Stack. Tommy, you're from the West yourself. Games like these are big, big occasions, but this is even bigger because of what's at stake for both sides. A win here will give the winner the opportunity to go to the knockouts. The loser, I'd say, will be scratching their head. Even if Rathkeale lose, they're defeated. So it's a huge prize and offer for both sides. And
I think both sides will be very aware of that. Obviously, they would have put a lot of stock in today's game. They haven't played for the last 2 or 3 weeks, so there's definitely a lot of video work done behind the scenes as well to make sure that they're as prepared as they are for today. I think it pits two very differing styles. Rathkeale have that searing pace, obviously Barry Coleman, but that forward line, that skill that they have in the team, they'll be looking to put up a score. And I think Father Casey's very, very strong defensively, backbone by a very experienced, we'll say 6, 8, 9, 11, they're very, very experienced around that area, and they'll be looking to control possession an awful lot more, and maybe a bit more calm about how they're getting their scores, maybe not as pacey, but at the same time I think they have a huge amount of talent at their disposal, so I'm looking forward to a very good game. Yeah,
I've met you numerous times this year. It was mainly on the inter-county scene, where first time I'm lining up with you at club level. We saw the last day for Rathkeale, the value of the two-pointer in the form of Barry Coleman. He kicked 5 in that first half from outside the arc. He's an extremely good, talented footballer. He's extremely fit, I think it's fair to say. He's had his injury woes, he's back. He's going to be key here. But like I said, and Abbeyfield, Father Casey's of course have numerous assets that they'll be looking to unpick this Rathkeale defence.
Yeah, I was looking at the Father Casey's line up there, and it's actually a who's who. I know a few lads aren't playing inter-county anymore, Adrian Enright, Daniel Daly, but the amount of them on the current senior football panel is crazy, and it's such a strong panel on paper. You're hoping that they can transfer to the scoreboard and get the results that they require.
Yeah, we'll be very in the minority of neutrals here today, but I suppose we're expecting a big crowd, and it should be, I suppose, blood and thunder here for 60 plus minutes.
Yeah, it will. They'll both attack it hard. It'll be important for both sides to start off well, and I think that'll be something that we'll track closely. I'm expecting a high scoring game. I think the conditions are fantastic here, so hopefully lots of 2-pointers, lots of 1-pointers, loads of goals, keep us entertained the whole day long.
Okay, you're very welcome back to Quaid Park here in Cooley with the home of Fiona Castlemahon GAA, and the sides are going through their final paces. Well, certainly Father Casey's are just over to our right. Rathkeale have head for the dressing room, putting on their change strip of white jerseys. So we'll take a look at the starting 15s for this one. We'll start with Rathkeale, and Rathkeale lining out with the goalkeeper Darren Jones. He's wearing the number 1 jersey. In the full back line is Michael Sheehan, Brian Meade, Paddy Mulcair, Niall Sheehan, Jack Hennessy and Dean Maughan will make up an experienced half back line. The midfield pairing is Barry Coleman, the vice captain, and Tommy Delan, the midfielder. David Clancy, Andrew Meade, Owen O'Donnell are at 10, 11 and 12. Coming into the side is number 19, Mikey Morrissey. He's in the corner forward in place of Ryan Stapleton. Patrick Wilmot, Andrew White are the 14 and 15, with White captaining the side from corner forward. We'll take a look now at the Father Casey side, and one change just coming to me literally this moment is the loss of fullback Fiacre Cotter. He's wearing the number 3 jersey. Not 100% sure who's replaced him just yet, but I'm told that it is in fact Danny McCarthy. Maybe we'll just confirm that in a second. Sorry. So looking at the Father Casey's team, it's Shane O'Connell, John Reardon, and number 18 now, Matthew O'Connor, coming into the side. Coolan Quigley is at 4. The half-back line sees Michael Kilbridge, Sean Kilbridge and Mark McCarthy. A formidable looking duo at midfield, that's Eli Reardon and Dermot Buckley. The half-forward line sees Daniel Daly captaining the side from 11. He's flanked by Dylan Quirk and the exciting talent that is Rory O'Brien. The inside line shows plenty of experience in the form of Adrian Enright, David Ward and Ronan Quirk. Tommy, just that breaking news, Fiachra Cotter is a big loss, isn't he, to any side, certainly a side that needs a win, and certainly the Father Casey side maybe not fully at full tilt, so a big loss in their full back line.
No doubt, it's such a pivotal position. Fiachra Cotter is an excellent man marker, and he would have been assigned probably to mark someone like Andrew White or Patrick Wilmot in that full forward line, but when you lose your number 3 is probably steadfast all year long. When you lose it, it's definitely a negative for your team. But the Father Casey's team overall, it's a who's who. So many guys have played inter-county, loads of experience on the team. Look, you'll get the more experienced guys like John O'Riordan, Adrian Enright, David Ward, Daniel Daly. Like, those guys bring extreme experience, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that they know how to win games. They're great when it comes to physicality. They know how to nail a game late on as well. But you've got brilliant youth and experience. Colin Quigley at cornerback, the Kilbridges, Mark McCarthy, an absolute standout to the county team this year. That midfield that you spoke about, and Dylan Quirk and Rory O'Brien at the half-forward positions. So they've got an excellent mix of youth and experience, and I know people often throw out that comment very, very easily, but I think it's very true for the Father Casey's team.
Yeah, that's for sure. A lot of names rolling off the page there for anyone that's seen them in the last few years. Very familiar names. Johnny Murphy, as you see, the referee there, he's completed the task. And a reminder once again that Rathkeale wearing the change strip of white, predominantly white and blue, and Father Casey's in their familiar blue and white. I believe the sides are as is, and it looks like it will be Rathkeale attacking to our right, so playing from left to right, and then obviously Father Casey's going the other way. Tommy, I'd ask you for a slight prediction. So I know it's been a few weeks since we've seen the sides in football action, but what way do you see this one panning out?
If Paul White was playing for Rathkeale, I think I'd go in favour of Rathkeale, but I think that is enough of a loss to probably tip the favour in front of a star-studded Father Casey's team. Father Casey's need to put it together. The team is there on paper, but they need to put a 60-minute game together. Rathkeale have excellent counter-attacking ability. Pace is what they have throughout their team, and they will kick a pile of scores if you give them that room. But it's what Father Casey's can do to shut down the long runners, to make sure they've got guys at the back all the time ready to deal with those counter-attacks. And how well you look after the ball in general is going to determine who ends up with the ball in that counter-attacking situation as well. Yeah,
so the sides lining up for Detroit. There's another change actually on the Father Casey side, with Sam Quigley wearing number 17 in, and trying to piece together who he has replaced. But as you can see, he's ready to go for the throw-in beneath us. Still takes a bit of getting used to this new style of start in the football ranks, but Tommy Delan and Sam Quigley have been trusted to go for their sides.
Sam played a key role last year all year long with Father Casey, so no problem for him there starting off midfield.
Okay, Johnny Murphy has thrown the ball in, and we're underway, and immediately Father Casey's onto the ball, and it's carried through by Eli Reardon. He was the spare player on this side, so had a bit of a free run at it. Gives it back to Dermot Buckley, and now it's been worked out to Dylan Quirk. They set their offensive stall out. Sean Kilbridge in the possession of it at this early juncture, and he's afforded plenty of time to give it to Michael Kilbridge. And here's Sean again, and from near sight of David Ward, the full forward, and little pace in the attack just yet. Rathkeale with their 12 in their own half defensively. And thinking about the shot there was Quigley. Ops against it, and they're looking for another option now. Here's Dermot Buckley going to carry it over to this left flank. Is there a runner off their shoulder? There is. It's Mark McCarthy. As Tommy said, we saw so much of him with Limerick this year. A real standout defender, and no shortage of attacking talent there either, as they work it out. Rory O'Brien to Dylan Quirk, and Tommy, you have to be patient here, even in these early moments.
A lot of calm. You don't want to turn over the ball. The turnovers can be catching, so just hang on onto the ball well, do the right thing. Ball on the inside here to Sam, I'd say.
Yeah, here's Quigley around the back. Sam Quigley has a go, but Shane Flourish, the umpire on that side sees it going across the face of goal and wide, and good discipline defending as well from Rathkeale. No one really, I know they were cutting at the back slightly, but no one got a lazy hand on, give away a silly free or anything like that.
Dead right there, but it was interesting that run that was made by the midfielder. He feigned to go outside and back inside, and I think it was Ronan Quirk that popped the ball over the top. Just unfortunate not to get that scored. There is a bit of a wind. We mightn't necessarily see it out there, but there is a wind and it is blowing, so it's going to keep the ball, I think, it's slightly in favour of Rathkeale in the first half.
Yeah, their first kick out off the tee from Darren Jones escapes the boundary fence here in Quay Park. It bounces out over, so it's going to be a line ball restart for last year's beaten finalists. Other cases, they've come so close down the years to regaining that cup, which is also named after Father Casey. So they'll be firmly fixed though on getting the points on the board to get out of this group, and then they'll be into the business end of it as Adrian Enright gets on it. Here's Quigley through the middle. Quigley does well, and he's met there by the challenge of Paddy Mulcair, and Rathkeale have it through Dean Maughan and now Jack Hennessy, and Hennessy just slowing it up. First real possession for Rathkeale, and they carry the ball out. Here's Dean Maughan, and it looks like Daniel Daly, as Tommy's pointing out to me here, who's missing out from the side. So a big blow, another big blow really for them. So you'd wonder, can they sustain any more losses like that? Ball's turned over. Diarmuid Buckley. Here's David Ward, puts plenty of pace into it. Ward bearing down on goal, tight angle. Ward lops it up, but the umpires see that it has curled too late, and it's second wide for Father Casey's, but they saw once you get that, shows you the value of a turnover. You've got to inject a bit of pace in the attack. And
what's happening is that Father Casey's are really compressing the middle of the field as soon as they have been turned over, so they're making it very difficult for Rathkeale to work it through the lines and get those kick passes up to the speedy inside forwards. But what I didn't like about Wardy there is he probably should have turned back and give a ball back outside. He tried to kick the ball a little bit off balance, wasn't an ideal kicking situation. Those situations where you're close to goal like that, you really have to take advantage.
John Reardon, the experienced man, here he is on the ball again. Did well there, and Reardon gives it back to John Kilbridge, and Kilbridge, plenty of green grass in front of him, is going to attack some of that, and he's followed by one of the Meads, and there's a tug back on the shoulder. I think it's going to be inside the arc. Johnny Murphy just a couple of metres away, and indicates that the number 7, which is Mark McCarthy, was fouled, and testing enough one for Eli Reardon, but a man like him off the deck here, you'd fancy his chances.
Yeah, it's about 5 metres inside that 2-point arc, so he should have this one comfortably in the locker. But great to see again Mark McCarthy attacking that inside ball. He really takes one, if not 2 defenders with him each time, and he's going to make defenders foul him. That's one of his real strengths.
So the number 8 Reardon goes through his routine, a bit of a skip first, and now going into it, and beautiful strike, puts it up lovely, and it's a 1-pointer from Reardon, and beautiful. We're just seeing a replay here, brilliant strike. You can watch it all day. Nice
left to right drift on the ball, but very controlled. Again, pressure here now on the kick out from Darren Jones, who was a very accomplished outfield player in his earlier days, but a lot of pressure on the ball here. You definitely think that Father Casey's probably have the bulk out around the middle third of the field.
Yeah, so Jones goes long and contested possession, and breaking onto it is Andrew Mead. You've seen the pace this man has, and he's going to try and use it here. Shows a couple of defenders a clean pair of heels. Mead does well, gives it back to supporting cast. That's Mikey Morrissey, and Morrissey just slows it up. Andrew White on the possession of it, and now they work it back. Tommy Delan saw it float over his head, but Barry Coleman is quick to the second ball, and Coleman, he wants to inject a bit of pace. Coleman jinking around the defender. Coleman, the angle is narrow. Coleman hand passes it across. There's attackers and defenders there as Patrick Wilmot is on it. Wilmot, is he snuffled out? He is. John Reardon coming up with it. Reardon falls to the surface, and I think he's thrown the ball away.
He's done so well to go down the ball, John, but I think he was just missighted. He didn't know where he was going to pass the ball to, and yet he hung on to the ball any longer. He was going to overcarry it, so he took a chance on it. Unfortunately for him, the referee blew him for a free, and this is a nice one for Rathkeale to start off. Andrew White, their free taker.
Yeah, White will be taking the ones close to goal. We'll expect Barry Coleman for the ones from distance, but immediately White dusts himself off and knocks it over. So 6 minutes on the clock here. We're fast approaching it, and we are level. But Rathkeale, when they got beyond that 45, great pace in the attack, they decided to take on their men.
They really looked to take advantage of the one-on-ones. Barry Coleman there, Mikey Morrissey looked at his man straight away. Andrew Mead, these are all really quick guys, high skill guys as well. So when they get the ball, they're going to make sure to look up. Have they got a one-on-one situation ahead of them? And if they have, then they're going to take off.
Rathkeale put plenty of squeeze on the kick out, but as you can see, It's the blue of Father Casey's who come up with it. Here's one of their defenders. They work it inside now to Mark McCarthy. McCarthy out to Reardon, and Reardon with that familiar right foot knocks it up the line. Protests that it has gone out, and indeed it has gone out over the line. There's disagreements from both benches about that one. Fortunately, no linesman here with us today, so Johnny Murphy wasn't too far away. He made the decision, I think.
Johnny had his workout out as well on Thursday night. There was a game in Raybogue, Monalina and Ula, and everybody was on the sideline, so that was a tough one to manage without umpires as well. So Johnny is a very dominant referee, and he makes sure to tell fellas what's going on out there. He did very well in that situation, because it looked like both sets of backroom teams were looking to get a line ball.
One of them was definitely wrong anyway, I can tell you that. One of them right though as well, as Rathkeale benefit from the call of the line ball. They've worked it up, an advantage here for Owen O'Donnell as they work it back now through Dean Maughan. There's a lot of experience in this side, as we recall. They were intermediate champions last season. Felt like a long time coming for them. A couple of near misses down the years, but back at senior level and looking to cement their place. A good win last time out against the Piercing, looking to add to that today, heading into the final round then, as they work the ball across to Jack Hennessy. Hennessy carries it up that left wing, and here is Dean Maughan. Maughan back to Hennessy. Very few options for them. Rathkeale struggling to find a hole or two, and I think Father Casey's be pretty happy with how they're set as well.
From what I see, there's not enough Rathkeale lads inside in that scoring arc that's going to pull the defence of Father Casey's back. They're happy enough to pass it over and back, but they're not actually trying to.
So there's no option for a kick?
No, there isn't. And the defenders are happy enough just to watch them passing it over and back the field. I think that's the problem with a lot of teams at the moment. They feel like it's going to happen just by passing the ball over and back. There has to be some other thinking, some other actions involved that'll lead them to be, I suppose, a greater threat when they have the ball in their hands.
Here's Tommy Delan going to carry it over that 45. Gives it to Maughan, who's put wit in the attack. And now Owen O'Donnell.
What a pacey man.
Yeah, it's slows it up again though, as they again are going to have to try and come around the other side, maybe over the back door here, the right hand side on this occasion. The ball carried by Niall Sheehan. Sheehan carries it through, but again, little option ahead of the ball. David Clancy is on it. Now they've worked it inside to Morrissey. Mikey Morrissey does well into the scoring position. Morrissey off his left. Oh, brilliant strike. Eventually they worked it into a scoring position, and Morrissey is there off his left foot, floating it over. And a first lead for Rathkeale.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. I said they should get men inside in that D, but that D was left open, so Mikey Morrissey could trundle through it and kick the ball with the left leg over the bar. What a beautiful score it was, and a very measured ball. Love that nice dinky hand pass in front of those attacking forwards. If they can get the ball in their hand, they should be able to take advantage of those one-on-ones.
Yeah, lovely piece of high fielding from Eli Reardon, under little pressure when he did it though, but happy enough, I'm sure, with their two kickouts to date. Have found their jerseys and been able to come away with the ball, as Coulon Quigley is on it. Quigley carries it out from the D, under pressure from Morrissey, but does well to get it away to John Reardon. And Reardon, very experienced player as well, gives it off to one of the runners. That's Rory O'Brien. Now at the top of the arc, O'Brien does well. They've worked it into the scoring position. Reardon, and Reardon's, I thought it was going to go over.
There wasn't much in that one, Tom.
No, there wasn't, yeah.
For us, we were probably right in line with it, just drifted late on. But
yeah, I just saw the replay there. In fairness to the umpires, I'd say it probably went over the post, perhaps, which, as we know from our Hawkeye days, is a wide, but...
nice setup though, the way the ball was passed outside for the midfielder, and he was able to kind of just swing his leg in it, and actually a fine strike in the ball. But once again, that wind is whipping across the field. Free to Rathkeale. Will they tap and go?
Ball touched on the floor. Tommy Deland decides against the solo and go, and works it back now to Jack Hennessy. Rathkeale contested 2 county finals last year, one in hurling and one in football, but their race run in hurling, so focus now 100% on the senior football championship, as David Ward, in the middle of a box of Rathkeale men, gets a touch on it, but not enough, as Jack Hennessy does well. They just tidy up the pieces. Big gaping area in the top of that D, and there's where the ball is kicked inside to Mikey Morrissey. I can tell you I'm not mic'd up to the Rathkeale men, but they're on the same wavelength as myself there, as Morrissey gathers it and gives it to a man off the shoulder. Seems a clear tactic though, doesn't it, from Rathkeale?
Yes, it seems like it is, even though we questioned it at the start. Right through the middle here.
Yeah, Tommy Delan gives it inside to Wilmot. They're working the ball out now. Here's Owen O'Donnell. Will he have think about a shot? He probably didn't have enough space to turn onto his favoured right foot. O'Donnell, couple of solos and a hop or two as well. Gives it inside to Wilmot. Worked it down to Andrew Mead. He's deadly from this sort of position. Mead jinking one way, jinking the other, and decides to come back. And here's Tommy Delan. Puts plenty of sky in it. It's going to be dangerous in around the house, but it's going to escape the clutches of everyone. And the first wide of the afternoon for Rathkeale.
Yeah, you'd have to give a lot of credit there to Father Casey. They're making Rathkeale turn back so often. It's as good as a strong tackle, a physical tackle in many ways, because the ball is constantly being recycled back the field. They're reorganising themselves. I think at inter-county level, so much of it is one-on-one, and you have to be one-on-one with your man. But there's way more opportunity to drop guys inside in that D zone to kind of stop maybe high in the D zone to stop those dinky balls being played in, or to stop the ball being played in like we saw previously to Mikey Morrissey. So maybe that's something Father Casey is going to adjust to.
Yeah, fine take there in the middle as Tommy was talking by Sam Quigley. They work it now over to this side, and here's Adrian Enright. Yeah, worked now nicely. Here's Reardon from a much more advantageous position, and he just about measures it and drops it over, and that's a point for him. His second one, the first from play, and it's a simple old game. Win your kick out, couple of passes, and
it was the pass from Adrian Enright that I'm just agog at, because his eyes were going totally different direction, and he managed to pass the ball across his body to a man who's gone beyond him as well. So that pass really opened up the defence, and it allowed for that space to be created for the kick for the score. Wonderful score.
So level again. Again, lovely leap in the air. This time it's Eli Reardon, breaks it down, and onto the pieces is Dermot Buckley. Buckley is fouled as he tried to pick it up, and he can get on quickly with the free. Very little time for rest in the new look Gaelic football game, I think it's fair to say, as they work it across to Rory O'Brien. Adrian Enright just maybe lost the flight of it for a second.
Was he thinking one shot in advance like a snooker player?
Possible. We saw that numerous times last week in one or two of the hurling games as Rathkeale get the line ball. They work it short. Here's Paddy Mulcair. Gives it inside to Mikey Morrissey, a long way from where he started to play, but just a bit of an interchange as they work it into the corner position. And Andrew White does well to win it out front, and this is Owen O'Donnell, diminutive but no less deadly forward that he is, and Dean Mon carrying it up. Mon had a busy summer with coaching soccer, but back now focusing on Gaelic games. As lovely pick up on the run from Andrew Mead, and Mead tried to take his man off for a race, but had to check back. Here's Mon, gives it into Delan, and patience the order of the day really for Rathkeale. No turnover is wanted here, but they're going to try and work a score. Happy field with the numbers back as well. 12 on 12 in the half, plus the goalkeeper obviously.
Yeah, noticing that Sam Quigley is very, very tight, and Barry Coleman. Obviously Barry Coleman is a huge threat. He's the big presence in the Rathkeale team, but he is going absolutely everywhere with him. He's pushing him backwards. His physicality off the ball is creating it hard for Barry Coleman to get on the ball. Yeah,
you can just see the two of them just off camera there. They're just come back into it there quickly.
You won't miss them with the pink boots anyway, the two boys.
That's for sure, yeah. But again, Coleman wouldn't say starved of possession, but certainly not on the numbers that he'd have liked, as Mead carries it through, and now he's upended. That is inside the arc, just about. It's a testing angle.
Yeah, I always wonder when you give the ball back, or you give the ball back inside the D to make sure the referee thinks it's a free inside the D as opposed to outside the D. Yeah, but this is clearly inside the D. So Mikey Morrissey again, like, this guy's a brilliant player. He's so, you're going to know you're in a game after Mikey Morrissey's marking you, because he's aggressive, but he's a beautiful kicker.
Demon offers the short option, but like any good free taker, he's the blinkers on and he's looking straight at those posts. Morrissey curling it. Is it going to come in enough? It's not. It hasn't. It kind of went straight really, and
put the markers on him.
Yeah, it was a tricky angle. Let's be fair to him.
Yeah. The kick-out battle so far has definitely been won by Father Casey's. They've had 2 clean marks, and they've won 3 or 4 of the breaks.
Yeah, disrupted them at the other
as well.
end, yeah.
They're doing quite well. So again, they're getting the short kick-out away. Colin Quigley's making himself available all the time. God, he's a lovely pacey player.
Yeah, and very smart play. Didn't get into that position until the goalkeeper was ready, and then just pulled 4 or 5 yards off his man. Does well now, does Quigley, to come through the middle, breaking there for Mark McCarthy. Looked okay to me, but the Rathkeale folk making themselves known with an appeal there, as the ball just hopped up enough maybe for Mark McCarthy, and working it now to Reardon. And a win and a draw to date for Father Casey's, to go together with a couple of defeats as well, or one defeat I should say, as they now work it out beyond halfway. As Rathkeale looked like they might have broken the 3-up rule temporarily at least, but referee says play on, as Adrian Enright gets on it, gives it all the way back now to Diarmuid Buckley, and the pass just skipping beyond Sean Kilbridge, but he has time aplenty to pick it up. Haven't seen much of the inside forwards close to goal really for Father Casey's. They work it inside to one of them now. That's Ronan Quirk, gives it to the man in the runner, that's O'Brien. And O'Brien gets on it again. O'Brien bearing down on goal. Rory O'Brien. And there was a jersey pull in there. There's no advantage coming. And we will come back for the free, probably around the 20-metre mark. And, well...
Clever from Rory to keep going because he knew he had the advantage.
Won't be happy with the shot now. And I say that because we know how talented he is, you know.
Yeah.
I tried to pick out that corner. I'm just seeing it here again. Yeah, escaped through the gap. And yeah, I could see exactly what he was trying to do. She sent the goalkeeper kind of the wrong way, but... Didn't catch it well.
But it shows when the attack is right, you can break through that defence, and there's acres and acres in front of you. Rathkeale are all going man and man on that full forward line for Father Casey. So if you get past it like Rory O'Brien did there, you're such a threat inside that zone. But it is a little bit worrying that for Rathkeale that Father Casey's are getting inside just a little bit too easy at the moment. I think they would not be happy with that at all. And again, the conditions are with Rathkeale in the first half, they're probably looking at maybe getting an advantage if they're to have a proper chance going in at half time.
Yeah, that's for sure. As Ronan Quirk opens his account for the day, joining Reardon on the score sheet. So the third point for them, and back in front after that surging run from Rory O'Brien. I can't help but think of the last minute of the Tailteann Cup final when Rory O'Brien was so unlucky. But it would have been some goal. Again, the leaping out of the midfielder. That was Sam Quigley, I should say. He did so well there, but they don't have the possession. Mikey Morrissey back there, tracked all the way, and Morrissey with the advantage coming, did so well, foraging there for it. But wow, some leaping from Quigley.
Yeah, he's got the springs in the boots today.
That's for sure, yeah. Great athleticism from himself and his brother Coulon. They've been a real asset to this team in the last few years. Young players, nevertheless, as the ball worked now to Michael Kilbridge, or sorry, in fact, I should say Niall Sheehan, wrong team, as Morrissey gets on it. Owen O'Donnell just took his eye off it, but it breaks back for Wilmot. Wilmot on the edge of the 20-metre line, a little bit off balance, and a poor shot selection, it looks like, in the end, as it goes straight to Shane O'Connell. And the men from Abbeyfield can break away up the left channel through Mark McCarthy. McCarthy gives a lovely 1-2. McCarthy shrugs off the challenge, always playing with his head up, knocks it inside.
Brilliant from Brian Mead, absolutely awesome. I mean, Adrian is such a big guy, and he used his body so well there just to kind of shield the ball to get past him, but that's unbelievable defending from Mead. In
a game where turnovers are a little bit at a premium, it's a big play.
And if you also think about what happens if he loses the ball, Adrian Enright is in 15 yards of space attacking that goal. It's possible 2-pointer, 1-pointer, even 3-pointer on the cards.
Yeah, it's not worth thinking about if you're a Rathkeale defender, but good brave defending. And here's the other Mead, that's Andrew. Back to Barry Coleman.
There it is.
Outside that arc, Coleman, has he done enough? Oh yes! Well, it's the super split from Barry Coleman. Comes off the shoulder, and brilliant stuff.
And it was the one time that Sam Quigley wasn't in his boots, but that's what Barry Coleman does. He uses that 5 metres of space that he has from those very quick darts to get away. Again, Rathkeale have the ball. They're after winning. They're getting a bit of possession at the moment. Yeah. Well, Johnny Murphy's not blowing the whistle too often either, which is a good way for it to go for us.
Yeah, but from Brian, we must compliment Brian Mead, because I wouldn't say he made that score, but he started it off with that huge turnover, and it gave them the platform to kick that 2-pointer. And Coleman certainly didn't need a second half invitation.
And split the post, like you say. And it's not going to be a fearsome kick at the moment. It's a measured kick, but you don't have to overkick it from that scoring zone at the moment.
Well, it was 2-pointers, 5 of them from frees the last day in Askeaton, 1 from play here, and that'll do his teammates and of course himself a huge degree of confidence as this one progresses. Dean Maughan now has swapped wings in the last few minutes. Maughan again looking with his heads up, gives it into Clancy, and David Clancy gives it back to Delan. They'd love to knock over a second score. If yet to score twice in a row in this contest as they work it up. Here's Jack Hennessy. Now he's at the edge of the arc. Hennessy gives it into Clancy. who puts the brakes on and has to come back around, and there's an option there all the time. It's Tommy Delan. Now, Barry Coleman, I'm going to keep an eye on him. Can he come off his shoulder here? Ball inside to Meade. Coleman is here now for him, and here he is as well. Not fouled, says the referee. Will play on, and now he's fouled. Well, now that is in a very dangerous position.
And I think it was more of a clumsy foul by the three lads together as opposed to anything else, you know, because there is physicality in the game. But if two guys are, you know, kind of slightly nipping at your elbows, the opposite elbows, it's going to be a foul.
I think it might have been Sam Quigley. I'm open to correction, but I think he might have been just the guilty party. And free is marked just outside. It's about 46 metres from goal. He's going to go from the hands, as we said already, with the elements. A gentle enough breeze, just enough to carry it that extra couple of metres. So confidence up after the first one, looking for another double. Coleman going through his routine, puts plenty of loft on it. Has it come in? It has. Two in his row for him, and another double and another 2-pointer. So suddenly that has completely changed things. It's 6 points to 3.
Scores, indeed it is. And we were kind of looking at the goalkeeper and Barry Coleman, because the ball went up so high, it went over the level of the stand that we could see. Looking at the goalkeeper, he adjusted his head and you could see straight away it was going to go over the bar. Midfield battle again, here we go.
Yeah, ball worked out, and has it been knocked out? It has. And
a bit of a shift, isn't there?
There is, and it all started, and I don't want to forget him. Brian Meade showed great. That we love praising attacking play, but we have to praise the defenders too. Brian Meade helped start it, and basically since then, Abbeyfield haven't come
the ball.
Yeah, Abbeyfield haven't even come beyond that point really since, as they want to ram home their advantage to Rathkeale. Jack Hennessy gives it across to Mon, returning to that left channel. Lovely little ball, inviting there, bouncing in front of Mikey Morrissey.
He's been a very willing runner so far from that inside area. You need that, but he's getting the ball just a little bit too far from goals, Tom.
Yeah, you're going to make a lot of those runs sometimes if you're playing a full forward. You got to offer yourself though as well, don't you? So
yeah, you do.
As Coleman is on it, he's tracked now by Adrian Enright. Coleman knocks it off to David Clancy, and a little bit of getting to know each other after the ball as they work back to Niall Sheehan. Well, coaching from the stand here. The 3-up rule is something that could be accidentally broken and could turn over possession, so Rathkeale conscious of that. They're working across here to Barry Coleman. Coleman's he going to take on Enright? Enright had a bite but couldn't get there. Mark McCarthy does well, and it gives the free away for what is deemed barging, and Mark McCarthy invited the challenge.
Oh, there's going to be a carnage here under the stand.
The white and the blue meet, and there's a foul in there. 2 Rathkeale men are there.
You could have predicted that foul was going to come a fair way in advance.
I think you called it about a minute in advance, but the free coming for Rathkeale, or for Abbeyfield, and a bit of a break for them. Doing a lot of defending in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
What we have seen as well is that every time Barry Coleman has got the ball in the last 2 minutes, there's been physicality. Adrian Enright one time, Sam Quigley the other time.
Yeah, Mark McCarthy was there as well. As ball worked inside to Quirk, gives it off to Adrian Enright. Enright off his favourite left. Is that going to go too far even? Is it going to stay in? I think it is. It's
it's just a great score,
it's a score, all right. The officials just confirming. Johnny Murphy happy it's well inside the arc, and his officials just waiting for him to confirm that. That's what the delay is.
Lovely. And there's a big difference between kicking that ball not under as much pressure, you know, and you have to take that shot every time. Adrian has got a beautiful left-legged kick, but if there's 1 or 2 guys around you, you just need to turn back, swivel, give it to the guy behind you, and hope that he's in a bit of space to kick the ball.
Yeah, one of the men in his 30s in this side now, so experienced there. Ball breaks to Meade. Andrew Meade off to the races. Meade jinks inside, coming onto his right. Andrew Meade is going to cut one over from there, gives it the roar when he kicks it, and a single point in reply.
Now we're seeing some scores, Tom.
Oh, you know, now it's coming to the boil, isn't it?
But how proactive was he? Because he took a chance that the ball was going to break over the top, and he came from way behind his marker, and he made a diagonal run across him, and when he got the ball in his hands, he had that advantage of the inside line each time. Andrew Meade, brilliant pace, lovely skill, great score, lovely to see.
Yeah, you hate to be defending against the guy of that sort of speed. As 2 men end up on the floor, referee says let's play on, and it's Rory O'Brien getting on it. O'Brien moving it across to Dylan Quirk. Quirk outside that arc, low ball inside to the other Quirk. That's Ronan Quirk. 4 white men jerseys converge on him. Nothing doing, and the play will continue. Ball, it's been broken back to the number 10. That's Dylan Quirk, and Dylan Quirk curls it beautifully over. Not the easiest angle for a right footer, but got it measured to perfection, and he replies again.
We love when scores are gotten from brilliant work back the field, defenders turning over the ball, 3 or 4 lovely kick passes inside, but it's the ones that aren't that pretty to look at. That was a ball that broke on the outside. It was just a great strike from a difficult angle, and you have to take those on.
Yeah, Dylan Quirk fortuitously or otherwise got his possession. He was on the edge of the ruck really, and curled it over, didn't need a second invitation. Tommy Delan contests and tries to knock it on, and it does knock its way to Owen O'Donnell. O'Donnell down on all fours really. Bit of a gridlock in there. 2 more come to the table as Quigley is in there. Ball is dropped, and Quigley is eventually fouled. Big turnover there, big moments for Father Casey's, who looked to go quick but nowhere near the mark. You want to be within 4 metres or so of where the foul is. After
a slow enough time, the game is after igniting a bit. There's definitely a little bit more pep, and I think both sides know how important this result is today.
Yeah, we'll bring up the speed with some of the other results in the other group in a moment, but ball carried up by the number 9, that's Diarmuid Buckley. Gives it inside to O'Brien. Lovely little triangle here as Mark McCarthy completes it really. Gives it to Ward off the shoulder, or back to Matthew O'Connor, and said much of his name thus far, but gives it back to Dylan Quirk, and they come up with something here to get them a bit closer or even level as they get it through Michael Kilbridge. Kilbridge to the shooter this time, and it's Adrian Enright, but he's well blocked, and Rathkeale can come up with the goods as Brian Mead is on it, does well. Took a bit of an unorthodox solo of the ball, and now he does well now together, and he's going to carry it out that left channel. Who are his options? Mead does well, heads up now every time he has it, knocks it inside, race there for possession with Andrew White going to win it ahead of Coulon Quigley. White does well, gives it back to Mikey Morrissey. Morrissey playing a little bit further from goal in the last 7 or 8 minutes, and he decides David Clancy is the best option to switch it to. Clancy to Coleman. Coleman, jersey is pulled. Be worth having a go here. Be worth having a go off the left, Coleman, and we're going to come back for the free. Wise decision. As unlikely as it was, he's going to curl it over on the left. He always had the free in the back pocket.
Yeah, and I could hear you saying it, Tom, but you could hear the lads on the field saying, get the shot away, get the shot away. And again, that's a poor foul, because you know how accurate Barry Coleman is. You know there's always cover inside. He
scored one from play. We saw from a very similar position.
Yes, so. Yeah, but there was cover inside, and I know when you have a guy one-on-one, it's hard to know that, but for the most part, Father Casey's have had 2 extra guys inside in that D, and you know they would have picked up Barry Coleman straight away.
Yeah, so Coleman just getting his breath and getting a football. He's a choice of 2.
Johnny Murphy, good kicker too, back in the day.
Still has it, yeah.
The Jabber, well able to score them.
Is that his nickname, is it? The Jabber?
The Jabber, yeah.
How'd you get a nickname like that anyway?
Not a clue, I can't go into it, Tom.
Yeah.
Coleman
takes a shot to Tommy Delan, and Delan curls it, but it's off target.
That's a poor decision, really.
I think you'd like it the other way around, and that's no respect to Tommy Delan. We see what Barry can do, and yeah, I don't know. Sometimes overeager.
It's a poor decision, really. Barry Coleman is going to kick the ball, and he's as accurate as anybody in the county from that zone. He's got a bit of a wind with him. It's a poor decision.
Yeah, ball lofted up by Shane O'Connell, breaking there, and the decision is going to be a line ball for Father Casey's. The goalkeeper wants to take it. He would be wise not to receive the ball, but actually take the line ball.
This is nice. I like to see this.
Yeah. Well, I did try this in the junior B match when I was in goals myself, and my teammates were looking at me like I had 10 heads, but it's an extra player in the possession, and it makes an easy getaway to Sean Kilbridge. And for now, Shane O'Connell can retire to the goals because he can't be involved in anything else in the play in his own half. Slipping there is
half time.
Oh, gee, yeah, there's the half time.
That flew by, didn't it?
Yeah, the 30 minutes just up, and with no real injuries, thank God. And we head for the half time. Rathkeale, I'm sure, happy enough because they've forged ahead, but what have you made of it so far, Tammy?
So Rathkeale are a very definitive style of play when they're attacking. They're keeping 2 guys deep in the full forward line and looking for those strong runners coming out to play those kick passes in, but for the most part the 2 inside guys, Mikey Morrissey and Andrew White, have received the ball so far out the field that they end up just passing it outside the 2-point line again. So if they can hang on to those runs just a little bit further, they'll have far more room inside. Obviously the wind in the second half is going to have an impact on those kicks as well, but Rathkeale have kept it very wide, but for the most part, Father Casey's have been okay. They've coped well with what Rathkeale have had to bring with their attacking play. Barry Coleman, obviously a huge threat from 2-point line, and that's something that the Father Casey's lads have copped on to really quickly, and their physicality when Barry Coleman has been in and around the ball has been increased. From Father Casey's point of view, yeah, very good when they work the ball through the middle. Obviously Mark McCarthy's a real baller, and when he gets the ball he's going to draw fellas towards him. The likes of Adrian Enright, very dangerous when you leave him in one-on-one situations. So it's finely poised. It's a lovely game so far, lots of attacking impetus, and hopefully we'll see more of the same in the second half.
Yeah, we've a huge 30 minutes, Tommy, ahead. We'll head for our break here in a second, but a huge 30 minutes in both these side seasons. Week 4, as we often know, is kind of a moving week, and you really have to be putting some points on the board. So whoever can squeeze the 2 points out of this one, be such a good position, and that's a different dynamic as we head down the stretch in this game.
It's really open, and I feel like Rathkeale playing into the win might help them a little bit more, because they are that counter-attacking team. So when Father Casey's have the win, they could just maybe commit a few more guys to going forward with the ball, which will leave the real pace runners, the half-back line, Barry Coleman, just to take off with the ball when they get it, and it could leave gaps at the back. So it's intriguing to see how the tactical side of it will work out in the second half, but I don't think Rathkeale will feel bad about going in 7 points to 5 up, even though the wind is with them. I think they'll really relish the fact that they're playing into the wind and that they can get their counter-attacking game going.
Okay, we're going to take a bit of a break here in Quaid Park, and we'll be back very shortly with the second half. Skip first, and now going into it, and beautiful strike, puts it up lovely, and the one's close to goal. We'll expect Barry Coleman for the ones from distance, but immediately White dusts himself up. Little option ahead of the ball. David Clancy is on it. Now they've worked it inside to Morrissey. Mikey Morrissey does well into the scoring position. Morrissey off his left. Brilliant strike. They work it now over to this side, and here's Adrian Enright. Yeah, worked now nicely. Here's Reardon from a much more advantageous position, and he just about measured it and drops it.
Rathkeale in the first half, they're probably looking at maybe getting an advantage if they're to have a proper chance going in at half time.
Yeah, that's for sure. As brave defending, and here is the other me. That's Andrew. Back to Barry Coleman.
There it is.
Outside that arc, Coleman. Has he done it off? Oh, yes! Well, it's another double. Coleman going through his routine, puts plenty of loft on it. Has it come in? It has. 2, and his ball worked inside to Quirk. Gives it off to Adrian Enright. Enright off his favourite left. Is that going to go too far even? Is it going to stay in? I think it is. It's ball breaks to Mead. Andrew Mead. After the race, it's Mead. Jinks inside, coming onto his right. Andrew Mead is going to cut one over from there. Gives it the roar when he kicks it. But jerseys converge on him. Nothing doing, and the play will continue. Ball. It's been broken back to the number 10. That's Dylan Quirk.
Since 1979, Sean Hennessy Expert Electrical Superstore has been your trusted name for all things electrical. From the latest TVs and appliances to everyday essentials, we've got quality, value, and expert advice all under one roof. Sean Hennessy Expert Electrical, trusted for over 40 years.
You're very welcome back to Quaid Park, the home of Fiona Castlemahon GAA, and we're just about ready for the second half. 7 points to 5, as you see on your screens, in favour of Rathkeale. Big second half for both these sides, so we are underway. No changes to note just yet, and immediately the ball worked to the number 8. That's Eli Reardon. Reardon coming inside that arc now, met all the way by David Clancy, and he overcarries the ball. And Rathkeale with the first turnover of the second half. They knock it up to Mikey Morrissey. Come a long way from goal. They've actually broke the tree up, and now David Clancy works his way out there. What is the decision from the referee? Johnny Murphy just going over to have a word there, but in coming back to get the ball, Tommy, they definitely broke the tree up.
They did indeed, yeah.
As the tree back was broken, yes, as well, actually. Yeah.
So who do you penalise?
That's the tricky nature of those rules. But anyway, Father Casey's have it, as they would have if they were...
hands out and play on it, say Tom.
That's it, as Niall Sheehan gets on it. Or sorry, in fact, it's Michael Kilbridge. Gives it across to Dylan Quirk. And they work it back to the number 18, that's Matthew O'Connor. And here's John Reardon. Reardon as well to give it out to Quigley. And... what are we expecting so in the second half? More of the same?
Yeah, I think more of the same, but you can see already that Father Casey's are committing far more guys up the field, so I do see Rathkeale's counter-attacking pace coming into it a little bit more, but it's going to be the team that makes the better decisions with the ball in hand that's going to win the game. That's poor there from David Ward, sending him so wide. You know, that's the decision making that needs to be right. Get the ball, make sure you get the first score of the half, make sure you start in a positive way. That was poor there from Wardy. Yeah,
turned over, and Owen O'Donnell links with Dean Mon and gets it. Of course, he can't go back to his goalkeeper, so he has to turn away. And here's Jack Hennessy.
The Father Casey's are really pressed up high. Really, they're taking a chance on pressurising the ball further up the field in the hope of getting turnovers, and of course that brings goals and 2-pointers and 1-pointers into the play hugely. Bit flat from both sides coming out now. We need to see them picking up a little bit.
Yeah. So as if no one has told them what's at stake here. We know that a defeat for Rathkeale, they're out of the championship and they'll be looking at the relegation worry. But at the other end is a shot from Mark McCarthy. It's well off target and it has gone to the right and wide. But for Father Casey's, they know that even a loss here will put them into the last round, needing first of all a win of their own and also probably a snooker or two to go their way.
Absolutely, yeah. It doesn't. There's a lot of eventualities, but it just a win is so important for both sides. You can't wait until the last day to say we need to win the last game or we're looking for this to go this way or this to go. But back on that last play there, Mark McCarthy, so good. He feigned as if he was going back towards his own goal, and he made a kind of a diagonal run across his player to pick up the ball. Didn't score a point on the far side of the field, but it's just a measure of what kind of player he is. Yeah,
ball won by Andrew Meade, linking with Brian Meade. They've worked it out to Barry Coleman. 4 points to his name from those 2-pointers. Sends it in, and not sure it was anyone on the same wavelength as him, but it has gone across the goals and wide.
Don't think he struck it properly. He was probably looking for Mikey Morrissey, who was running across
trying to jet it into him.
The field. Yeah.
Didn't work as the kick out goes long. No touch on it. It's going to be a line ball for Rathkeale. But they'll have been, Rathkeale, I think, beaten heavily the first day by Moline. Very much encouraged by the performance in a 2-point loss to Adair in round 2, and obviously then they got there. That was a 12-point win the last day over in Piershick. So steadily building themselves back up at senior level. I think they'll have taken confidence each day.
They will, and I remember back to the intermediate final last year against Galbally, how impressive they were in dealing with such a rugged team like Galbally. You know, you'd have to give them so much credit for that. But you know, they're finding it tough enough here now at the start of the second half. Father Casey's have the bodies in the right part of the field.
And they haven't really held on to possession. Ball worked inside now to David Ward. That's a bit better from him. Gives it to Mark McCarthy. Mark McCarthy ends up on the floor. Johnny Murphy is signalling. Okay, he's. I think he just. I could just about hear me stopping the game. He's going to throw it up because player ended up on the floor, not on the ball really, but not fouling it.
A head collision there from Mark McCarthy as he was trying to
just
reclaim the ball.
Yeah. I think sensible enough. You don't want to see a fella buried into the turf. No. Such, but McCarthy a little bit worse for Ware getting a bit of treatment, but
the pass was slightly better. He was through for goal. Slightly better. That shows you the margins we're talking about here. And Al Pacino's inches speech, it really comes true. You know that.
That's for sure. Yeah, as Murphy throws it up, clatter of bodies beneath it, and Eli Reardon is one of them. He's got on it, hand passes it away, but it skips off the surface, skips off I think maybe the boot of Sam Quigley, and it goes out for another wide. So let off again for Rathkeale.
Yeah, we have those rucks up there, but there must be a huge amount of space elsewhere. You'd love to see kick passes being made to guys further up the field. I mean, Rathkeale are committing so many guys to their defence at the moment. I worry about how they're going to pass the ball up the field.
Three up reach, so I think accidental, so it's a halfway line free. Barry Coleman has knocked it away, and Dean Maughan bails him out with an intercept. Does well to rise high there. Does Maughan, gives it to Mead. Mead is fouled by Mark McCarthy, his inter-county teammate, and Dean Maughan was off to the races.
Every time Mead gets the ball, he's constantly looking to turn inside. His head is turned towards the goal. At least he's making his idea that my first look is always going to be inside, and you don't see that from a lot of players these days.
It's defender's nightmare, really.
It is.
You can't really just get him to stand up and slow the pace.
Even that look inside, great passing inside from Rathkeale.
Yeah, they work it out. Tommy Delan gives it out to it's Niall Sheehan on the run. They've worked it back again to Patrick Wilmot, the man they called Scalzi. He works it back to David Clancy. And Wilmot thought about the shot, gives it around to Tommy Delan at the back stick. Delan going for goal and miscues it off the inside of his foot, and it's going to come all the way out to this near side. Ball kept in play by Owen O'Donnell. Barry Coleman does well, gives it back to Dean Maughan, and Rathkeale will reset, but a big opportunity there for Delan in around the back. Just miscued his effort, really, didn't he?
Yeah, he was in a whole pile of space. I think the angle was very narrow though, and he might have been better, coming a little bit more diagonal across the goal to create that angle for himself. He might have drawn some of Rathkeale diagonal runs across him too, but that didn't happen. Rathkeale still have it.
Yeah, here's Wilmot, narrowing angle for him as well, so he sensibly comes back out to Sheehan. Sheehan back to Mead, so now Mead wants to stand up his man and see can he take him on. Mead solo and then a hop, and away he goes. Gives it to Wilmot, and they're just working in that corner. As the clock ticks into minute 37. They've worked it back to Clancy, and he has the man at the back of the arc. That's Jack Hennessy, and he in turn gives it out to O'Donnell. So much of his team have a very similar vintage and have played so much football together down the years. You can see that in the way they link up. Andrew White, gets it back off Dean Maughan. White into O'Donnell. He was looking for a gap that just wasn't there, and they work it back to Jack Hennessy. Patient defending from Father Casey's, but Rathkeale were looking to take on the shot for the score here, and Mikey Morrissey off balance and well off target. Sends it wide. So,
but for all that Rathkeale brought there, Father Casey's were very much in control of what was going on all the time. Quite a few Rathkeale players got the ball with dodgy shots on. They didn't take them, and eventually the dodgy shot didn't work out for them.
And Coleman is on the breaking ball from that kick out. It's a real dynamic runner, and himself and Quigley go with it. Stands up his man, tries to kick it inside, and there's a free to be taken. The solo is a bit of a loose one from Mead, but we will play on. Barry Coleman. I think a little bit frustrated maybe there. Quigley's like a bit of a rash at times, and he's stuck to him, For
a guy like that, that's absolute goal for a team, because you're going to take 10-15% off of one of the major players on the field, and if you have that, my God, are you delighted you have that in your team?
Yeah, that's for sure. But after all of that, Rathkeale still have the possession. They work it to Owen O'Donnell. O'Donnell is giving it to Mead. Again, surveys his options. O'Donnell kept his run going. They work it inside to Wilmot. Wilmot to Mead. Worked it back to.
Inside ball.
The free has been called. But, are we going 50 metres? The whistle was sounded. Gently enough, I think.
I didn't hear the whistle. To be honest, it looked like it was a genuine
he was signaling for sure. He was signaling it was overarm. Of course, in hurling you can hand pass the ball overarm. In football, you must come with an underarm strike, but not happening on this occasion. As the free is brought forward, Eli Reardon sends it inside to Quirk. It's Ronan Quirk, free to his name in that first half. He's going to want the service in the second half to add to that. They've worked it out to Rory O'Brien. O'Brien coming across that D, looking for a shooting opportunity. It's not coming, and they've worked it to Dylan Quirk.
Nice ball.
Lovely ball into Ronan Quirk, who's switch wings in the interim, but it's a long way from where a shot will be viable, and they work it back now to Rory O'Brien. Third man run from Mark McCarthy, and McCarthy back to O'Brien. An opportunity perhaps for Dylan Quirk, and again they're going to have to switch it here. Defence is very much on top at the start of the second half for almost at the 2/3 mark of this contest, as the ball is carried by Michael Kilbridge. Here's Eli Reardon. He was dominating the skies early in the piece, but haven't seen him in an awful lot of the attacking play thus far in the second half, but here he is again. Got a goal from a penalty in round 2. They've worked it along. Here's the runner. It's Dermot Buckley. Buckley gives it to Sean Kilbridge, who in turn gives it to Adrian Enright. They've worked it now into a small bit of space. Here's Eli Reardon. He'll want it off the left. Reardon on the shot is blocked, and Rathkeale turn it over, and they look to counter. Mikey Morrissey, open country for Barry Coleman. They're herring back after him. Coleman crosses that halfway line. Look at the covering run from Dermot Buckley. He's going to get there with him. Coleman surging through, shugs off the marker. Coleman and passes it off around the back. Is a chance of a goal. It's saved, and it was Andrew White who had the shot, and the combination of defender and goalkeeper have scrambled it away. Big moments in both these side seasons. Big moments in this contest. As just watch the replay there. It was Coulon Quigley with the diving block at the foot of Andrew White, and can it be punished at the other end? It's Reardon. He was blocked at this end, just in the exact spot he's in now. Does well, just spills the ball though, and off balance knocks it back to David Ward. Every possession important. Here's Reardon for the 2. John Reardon has sent it across the face, a goal in wide. Well, a lot to sum up there, Davy, but
wow.
Big moments.
Yeah, the first real counter-attack of the game. Barry Coleman didn't get stuck into the defence. He kind of figured that out. There was a turnover coming. He inched kind of halfway from the 45 to the 65, got the ball off a great hand pass, and he took off. And I think his hand pass to Andrew White, look, it was a good hand pass, but Andrew White just struck the ball straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah. I think Andrew White was maybe a little bit too wide.
He probably was. Yeah, I think he was creating room for Coleman, to be honest, but there was a slight mix-up in what needed to be done, what actually was done. And at the far side of the field then we saw Father Casey's counter-attacking and just didn't get the score they needed as well. But here's a chance for Quirk.
Yeah, Quirk on the turn, Ronan Quirk, and he has just sent it to the near side and wide, and I think that's half a dozen wides for them now, and maybe 3 since the interval. So
and no score in the opening 11 minutes and 40 seconds of the second half.
We are playing the new rules.
Well, we are obviously we are, yeah. I know, but at the same time, both defences are certainly on top, and that's been very clear. And you'd like to see the counter-attacking football be far more to the fore, but the sides are content to pass the ball over and back and take their time.
Yeah, we have good skills of defensive play. The block at one end with the block here as well. We've a couple of turnovers, and we have to praise the defences too.
We do. But I think it's a measure of the defences being quality, but also the attackers not having the know-how or the maybe the endeavour to break down the defences as well, because it's just a little bit lateral at the moment.
Mark McCarthy pops it into Adrian Enright on the top of that D. Enright going inside, tries to hand pass it back over his head, and nobody on the same wavelength as him bar a Rathkeale man, and the clock is ticking nicely for them as Jack Hennessy works it up your field. The next score, it's intercepted. Sean Kilbridge bursting through. Kilbridge inside, hand passes towards Adrian Enright, but again Brian Mead is there. Good defensive play by him, and moments of gasp at either end really, and for either side as they work it out through Niall Sheehan. Sheehan back to just undercooks the hand pass. The ball is still in play despite the protests of the Rathkeale men. It's been worked back to Sean Kilbridge. Surging run from him a minute ago. They work it here now up to Michael Kilbridge, and there's a chance for Ronan Quirk. Quirk onto his right. He's going to curl that over. It looked good initially, but at the end it tails to the left and wide, and a frustrating moment for Father Casey's. They're within striking distance, but just not executing.
But for both sides, the carrying out of some skills that you'd expect them to carry out, no problem whatsoever. They're letting themselves down. That's Adam Shannon coming on the field, isn't it? He's a great player to come on. I don't know who's gone off on the far side. It looks like it's Clancy, maybe.
It is, yeah. So Shannon wearing number 20 is in for David Clancy, who's wearing 10. Big addition now for the last third of this game.
And we all know as well that it's all about 20 players nowadays. It's not about the 15 that start anymore.
Up early and up illegally is Sam Quigley. Goes up on the back of Barry Coleman, but they're miles away from where the mark is, as Coleman now is just prone on the surface looking for a
bit of experience there from John Reardon, kind of looking up and saying, what's going on? Ref turned around a few times so he wouldn't have to give the ball back in time, so they could take the tap and go, it's clear here, we can see it on the replay, but that's the experience.
Approached the referee in a mild manner, I'm sure, with his queries, but Barry Coleman hopefully is okay. Just the leap from Quigley was impressive, but it was, I suppose, used the back as a bit of a
Quigley's leaps are AFL Aussie rules-esque, aren't they? He really is. He's
there's some name for that in AFL,
leveraging.
you just get a little nudge in the back. It's illegal in AFL, isn't it?
It
it's
is
certainly
legal,
not legal here, but
yeah.
We saw Conor Glass, I think, was a big exponent of that when he came back, but had to be removed from his game, really.
He was practically sitting on his marker shoulder for the day, yeah.
It'd be great to be able to jump anyway, but
I know.
These guys are showing it, the Quigleys in particular, here this afternoon.
I suppose that's one of the things I've enjoyed the most here, is that the high fielding has been fantastic, and the endeavour to get up high and win that ball.
There,
it really is, and we've seen 5 or 6 really good marks so far, and it's brilliant. I love seeing those long kickouts. We went through a pandemic of short kickouts, and at least the long kickout is something that's very, very relevant and present in nearly every team's kickouts now.
Yeah, that's for sure. A reminder in the other group this afternoon, we had a win for Killowen Pallaskenry. They're back 2-14 to 10 points win over St. Kieran's, which certainly throws the cat amongst the pigeons in that group. We also had a third win of the campaign for Mungret St. Paul's, 5-16 they notched against Ballylanders, who had 3-7 in reply. So Ballylanders 0 from 4 and Mungret St. Paul's back in the playoff picture for knockout football. We've no score to hand from Newcastle West and Galtee Gales just yet, but if we have it, we'll bring you up to speed. But that is Group 2. The focus here is Group 1 as we head for the final 15 minutes of regulation, as Barry Coleman is...
That's a lovely ball into Mikey
good,
Morrissey.
Yeah. Morrissey again is running, and there has been
a three up
breach.
Yeah. Three up breach.
I think chasing down the loose ball around the middle, they've broken it between David Ward and Adrian Enright. One of them has broken it, and what it means is they're going to get a 20-metre free, which they will tap over. They can take a 40-metre free, but I mean, you're 2 points up. Let's make it 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Every point is so important, because the scoring hasn't been fantastic. We all expected, because of these new rules, that every team, every match would be a high-scoring match. That's not the case. Defences still have a major say in what goes on in these matches, and every point is valid. Here's Andrew White with good opportunity.
Yeah, makes absolutely no mistake, and
you'd rather be 8-5 up than 8-5 down at the moment, the way the scoring is going.
That's for sure, yeah. A green flag or another super split, as I'm dubbing them, would be very important for Father Casey's, but they need to get a score. They haven't scored since the interval, as they make a sub, and just trying to piece together who's in and who's out. It's the number 26, which is Martin Scannell. Yeah, he knows about where the posts are, that's for sure.
And Quirk has gone off 15 on the far side, it looks like.
So Ronan Quirk makes way for him. But Scannell, he knows where the posts are. He's going to go straight into the edge of that square. So experience absolute in spades in that inside line. There's advantage that isn't coming, but they're going to have to go back. Rory O'Brien did well to hold on to it, and he quickly takes the free.
Yeah, Rory's been on the ball an awful lot. You'd love to see him getting on the ball a little bit closer to goal, but he tends to be out there in the middle third of the field.
He does well to move it along, and Mark McCarthy is on it. Unsurprisingly, 12 men in attack, 12 white jerseys, and of course the goalkeeper in defence, trying to congest it in their way, and it's been worked out to Sam Quigley around the back. An opportunity here, hand passed it over the bar, Michael Kilbridge. There's protest for a wide. I'm trying to have a look at it here myself again. That's a good score. There's no issue with that. That's straight over the bar. Just caught it on our monitor here. It's been waved wide. Well, just looking at it myself. Yeah, look to me that it was over the bar.
We'll have to pixelate, I'd say, Tom.
Yeah, we had a slightly slow replay there, but a big moment.
Yeah,
I say that it to me looks over, but I mean there's very little protest from Father Casey, so perhaps it was Kilbridge who sent it wide. But anyway, 8 points to 5 it remains. Big moments as the kick out. Yeah, it's worked out to Owen O'Donnell. Gives it into Barry Coleman. Coleman getting more and more possessions as it is knocked up off the line, and it hits Father Casey's man last. Again,
Coleman looking to get the ball inside as deep and as early as possible. Again, Mikey Morrissey's a good man to have inside there.
He does well. The left-footed pick, and he does well. Now this is interesting to see where this is. If it's outside the 20, it'll be a shot for 2 points, which I think it is.
Yeah, there'll be 2 guys vying for it. Andrew White is on it, but I think Barry's probably got the little bit more power than Andrew. But again, Mikey Morrissey for me has been probably the best player. Obviously, Barry Coleman gets the highlights for getting the 2-pointers and the kick passes inside, but Mikey Morrissey has been just a consistent runner, and when he's been out the field, he's been looking to get on the ball, 1-2s, play the ball forward all the time. He's been fantastic so far for Rathkeale.
So Coleman outside, this is for 2. I'm pretty sure we'll see what happens if he puts it over. I'm pretty sure it's for 2. He goes short, sends it inside. They were all expecting the shot. Coleman into a much more shootable position, and Coleman turns away. He's happy with it, and with just over 10 minutes to go, Father Casey's in real trouble. Rathkeale 4 to the good.
Very clever from Adam Shanaher. He pushed his man inwards to create that bit of space. Then he had that avenue to run all the way towards Barry Coleman, play a beautiful 1-2, and Barry kicked it with his right leg from a position you'd want to see him kicking the ball. Great score, 4 points up.
Oh, lovely take in the middle by Eli Reardon. They're going to need plenty more of that in the next dozen minutes or so, or whatever we have left on Johnny Murphy's watch. Ball worked to Mark McCarthy. 3 points on the board for Father Casey's from their 3 outings. Second defeat would put them in real peril of not making the knockouts, and that was probably unthinkable coming into the championship, given their very impressive run to the last year's county final. But what will they have? Here's Eli Reardon. Reardon moves it inside to David Ward. Ward bearing down on goal. Ward is there. Rathkeale chasing impacts, and it's flashed over the bar, and finally Adrian Enright has ended that long run over 20 odd minutes, really. I think 26 minutes was the last time they got their score, and Enright striking powerfully through, knocks it over the bar. Yeah,
with David Ward's foray right in there, he took 5 Rathkeale players towards him, and so when he got the ball out to Adrian Enright afterwards, it was a simple pop over the bar, and Adrian loves that shot all day long, right leg from in front of the goals. So yeah, this kick out, every kick out is going to be so important from now on, because all you want to see is a contest from both sides, getting under the ball, who's going to win the breaks as well, and those high balls out there.
Yeah, I can tell you that Danny McCarthy, wearing the number 19 jersey, is in for Father Casey's, and out goes the number 10, I think it was Dylan Quirk. Yeah, so the 2 Quirks are gone off. We've 2 McCarthys on the field now as Adrian Enright gets on it again, works it to Mark McCarthy. Another quick score would give them a little bit of belief. Going for the 2 is Reardon, and did not strike it well at all. It goes well to the right and wide.
Didn't strike it, came off the boot wrong. You know, you could see the way the ball was even travelling in the air there. It was slicing to the right. You want that one curling towards the goal. The Ryder Cup is on at the moment. You want to get that fade, as the hook as opposed to the fade, don't you?
I can tell you, I know very little about golf. Only that the Europeans. The yellow card there for Andrew Mead. Rathkeale, yeah, just something happened maybe off the ball, but anyway, enough about the golf for now. But we're back underway with the kick out one as Danny McCarthy gets the first possession. Here's David Ward. Ward down a bit of discomfort after moving that ball on. Ball worked out here to Michael Kilbridge. When they want to take on O'Donnell, oh, lovely spin out of it. O'Donnell there, there's an advantage coming. That's going to be outside. Are they going to have a shot? Yeah, it's very much a speculative one. We're going to come back for the free. The opportunity now between maybe Adrian Enright or indeed Eli Reardon. An opportunity to bring just 1 point between the sides.
This is Eli Reardon all day, isn't it? How he kicked the ball the last day, slightly drifted from left to right. If we have that, it's probably going to be going against the wind, because the wind is going right to left as we're looking at it. He'll be looking to bring it back against the wind with a bit of support from the left to right wind also. If that makes any sense, how I've said it. It made sense in my head anyway, Tom.
Fair enough. We'll defer to your superior judgment on that. And Rathkeale putting up a wall with Barry Coleman and Tommy Delan, but now call back to the edge of the square in case this one does in fact drop in around the house. A big moment for Reardon, big moment for the men from Abbeyfield. Floats it up there, lovely. Oh, never in doubt. The super split at the other end, 2-pointer back.
And given how the game has gone, a point in it, you know, it's been quite level the whole way through, but sides just haven't been careful with the ball, and a situation like that arises to get a 2-pointer, and it really just shows you how the 2-pointer has evolutionised the whole game of Gaelic football.
Yeah, we saw what change it made in the first half for Rathkeale in terms of putting them double scores up, but now they're under serious pressure as Rory O'Brien carries it through. O'Brien, advantage coming, moves it off to McCarthy, and Danny McCarthy nonchalantly knocks it over. We are level here.
I'll tell you something about Danny McCarthy. He was on the minor panel that I was involved in a couple of years ago, and he's a dream footballer. We played him cornerback. He could have played anywhere in the field because he's a superb marker, but when he has the ball in hand, there's nobody like him, and I'm actually 100% sure Danny McCarthy is going to be a Limerick senior footballer.
Wow, there's a shout. Mark's brother, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
The absolute bull baffle.
Is it?
I'm open to correction. Yeah. He looks very much like him anyway. But even the gate and the guns. Barry Coleman, yeah. Among the 4 jerseys, he's the advantage coming. And Coleman carries, is going to come back for the free now. But big moments, big time players.
Huge. And you want to see your big players standing up at a time like this because they have the experience, they have the know-how to make sure that the ball is in the right position at the right times of the field. Even looking after the ball at this late stage in the game is very, very important.
So Rathkeale now want to do a bit of attacking, and they want to try and pin Father Casey's back.
Here's ball.
Owen O'Donnell moves it on to Sheehan. Niall Sheehan pops it inside to Wilmot. Lovely interchange of passes. Here's Owen O'Donnell. O'Donnell turns back into the traffic though, and they've worked it across to Shannon. Here's Coleman, little nudge in the back, looking for a free, but nothing doing. Here's Meade, a lovely jink in a feint, and curls it over. Brilliant stuff from him.
Who's on the ball there? Coleman, Meade, Andrew Shanahan. This is just brilliant stuff.
That's for sure.
Brilliant stuff.
The three men on the inter-county panel this season. We didn't see an awful lot of Shanahan, but I tell you, he's some weapon when he gets on the ball, and he pops it off to Andrew Meade. And Meade, I think he sent Meade the wrong way. With that jink in the feint.
On the break.
Again, big moments. Often this time of year, under the old rules, it was a race to 10. It's Rathkeale who get to the 10 at this point, but it may not be enough. Another score or two could do it. They work it inside to White, the captain, and he gets into a bit of isolation. Wisely slows it up. Here's Dean Maughan, and Maughan just slowing the tempo, and they want to get their main men on the ball. Here's Barry Coleman. He works it out to Sheehan, who's clearly operating much higher in the second half. They've worked it back to Jack Hennessy. Possession at the moment anyway, 9/10 to allow, 4.5 minutes or so of regulation left. We'll have a couple of minutes because of those subs, and indeed the odd injury hiccup or two as the ball is worked to
Nice running.
Mikey Morrissey. Gives it inside. Good strong attacking play by Andrew White. White gives it to Meade. Meade into the challenges, does well to hold on to the ball, and they're not going to force anything here. The scoreboard in their favour, clock growing into their favour as such, and Jack Hennessy gets on it. Hennessy gives it to Coleman, and Coleman is shackled. Mark McCarthy is there. He's overcarried the ball. Oh, in fact, Johnny Murphy initially signalled in the wrong way. He said that Mark McCarthy kind of pushed his man onto the ground, and Coleman will take the free, gives it across to Andrew Meade, and Rathkeale need a stop here. They need a turn, or RB Field, sorry, need a turnover.
And Rathkeale are just hanging on to the ball over and back the field. You got to do what you got to do to win the games. And if that means just hanging on to the ball, passing the ball across the 45-yard line, that's what you have to do.
Yeah, this is kind of like a training exercise. One slip up though could be so costly, but they're backing their main men. Here's Mikey Morrissey. He's one of a few players in line for our man of the match. Ball work to Andrew Meade. Here's another one who's carried the fight all the way. Andrew Meade coming away on his right. Has he brought it in enough? He's just brought it across the face of the goal. So possession now with Shane O'Connell and Father Casey's.
And again, what has happened there, Father Casey's have to push up in Rathkeale, so it gives the likes of Meade and Coleman a chance to attack those spaces, really allowing them to take on their one-on-one opportunities.
Yeah, double sub for Father Casey, so the kick out will have to be taken again. The number 4, Coulon Quigley, is out. He's one of those. I think it's the number 20, as you can see on your screens there. That's Callum Boyle, who is one of the fresh men in there. And Oisin Wolfe, I think maybe the other, who's wearing 22. So not sure exactly who the other player who's made way is. It looks to be, is it David Ward perhaps? But anyway, we play on as they get the ball away, get possession. Mark McCarthy, big squeeze and big chase by Patrick Wilmot. They will know the clock is running towards them. There's a heavy hit in there and there's a foul. The referee has given a free, so Father Casey will have to either solo it or kick it.
Needing a bit of attention, but we're seeing what's going on ahead of us. Rathkeale have one man extra inside in that zone at the moment. It's who's gone back there? Tommy Delan has gone back just into that zone protection. I would be surprised if they didn't push the second man back there, but it's going to take a little bit more ingenuity from Father Casey's to try to figure out how to create those scoring opportunities, and I suppose discipline from Rathkeale too, not to give away those frees around that zone, so there's possible 2-point frees or opportunities to be created as well.
I tell you, the one thing you don't want to do is give away a free just outside the arc.
No,
if you're going to foul someone, maybe actually just inside.
Let him get inside. Come on, in you go.
Yeah, I do recall seeing that between Limerick and Wicklow this year, that there was advantage being played to Mark Jackson, or to Wicklow, who would have had Mark Jackson's opportunity to come up, but they actually scored a 1-pointer. So I was glad.
Yes.
I was glad on that occasion to see that advantage.
I remember that one actually very, very well.
Yeah, it's a funny quirk of those rules, but I suppose it's always the same with a guy going through and goal and he puts it over the bar rather than under, you know. Anyway, big play needed for the men in blue as they work it across, as Sam Quigley is on it. Sends it out to that corner, and that's O'Brien. He's operating a little bit closer to the goal since those couple of subs a minute ago. And Quigley gets on it again. Just taking his eye off it momentarily is Martin Scannell, but they've worked it back to Callum Boyle. Boyle as well to hold on to it just about. Mark McCarthy. Shanaher following him all the way, and Shanaher wisely enough tags Mark McCarthy as they try and work it up now. Here's Rory O'Brien coming around on the loop. Of course, gone are the days of putting 15 back and just clogging it all up. Here's Eli Reardon looking for the equaliser. Reardon, he's got it, I think.
Beautiful score.
Yep, he has indeed, as we head for the last handful of seconds of regulation.
And it's
He
squeaky
has
bum
tied
down
us
now,
up,
isn't it?
yeah.
It really is. Every kick out is so important. So on the clock we currently have 59, 57 seconds, and like he's probably going to play 2, 3, maybe 4 more at the max. But you think like every kick out, Rathkeale can win the next kick out. It just pressurizes everything that the cases have afterwards.
And now we have a football that's not correctly inflated, so just adding to the suspense, because everyone's going to fill up the lungs now and see can they pick a hole in Darren Jones's kick out.
When you get tired too at this late stage in the game, the likelihood is that you're maybe not going to go for as many short kickouts. So I would be fairly sure that this is going long from Darren
maybe
Jones.
just in front of us here on the 65.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got 2 key guys here. Mikey Morrissey's got a bit of height advantage there over Callum Boyle, and Barry Coleman out here as well with Sam Quigley. These should be good contests that they should try to take advantage of. But they're marking 3 very good guys over here as well, aren't they?
Just seen Barry Coleman just kind of licking the fingers, wants to get under this. Dean Maughan is going to be there, breaks it down, but there's a blue jersey on it. Big moments for both these sides. Rory O'Brien is carrying it. Rory O'Brien, is he going to steady himself? O'Brien, is he going to curl it in? It's got over the bar. It's Rory O'Brien.
He's laughing.
Yeah.
There's a smile on his face as he's jogging back to the middle, and straight away it's organised for the next kick out. Look, they have had slight dominance all match long in these kick outs, and it does pay eventually. So again, huge pressure on Darren Jones again. Can he get the kick out away? But I from Rathkeale's point of view, they still have to try to employ the short kick out if they can at all, because it looks like Father Cases are just having the upper hand in those longer kick outs. Yeah,
we'll be asking you for your Michael O'Connell men's or man of the match in a couple of moments, but first let's see which way this game falls in the last couple of minutes. Again, the kick out is over to this near side. Darren Jones sends it long. There's a race scramble for that ball. Suddenly it's Rathkeale in desperation. Tommy Deland, does well, wins his free and pops it up to Dean Maughan. He solos and goes, wisely so. I think they've worked it to Mikey Morrissey. Short of options, gives it to Meade. Meade will look to inject his pace into this play. Morrissey very tight to this near sideline. Rathkeale supporters desperate now to see their charges get the ball towards that goal. Andrew Meade as well gives it across to Jack Hennessy. They've worked it through. Shanaher bearing down on goal. Shanaher hand passed it off. It's Wilmot drops it. Oh, great save by the goalkeeper. Referee is on the case. Who has the ball? It spills out. What has he given?
He's given a free, and I think for a throw, is it, or he's going to throw up the ball. Let's have a look. Replay just here in front of us. Keeper's done exceptionally well to get down on the ball.
The ball was not in play, but it was stuck in the net. I'm still actually not sure what the Ballylanders official has indicated here. I think now he's actually pointing towards the goal. Is it a throw by the goalkeeper maybe? Just watching it here again. Yeah, I'm intrigued. It's a free in.
Yeah, I'd say that's the most likely decision that Johnny has made there.
Or did he handle it on the ground outside the...
very similar situation
square,
to what we had in the first half. It was John O'Riordan was back there. He just had to get the ball out of his hands quickly, and I'd say he did so in an illegal fashion, but a chance here to level it up again.
Yeah, we will not have much more after this, I suspect, as Andrew White lines up the free, knocks it over the bar, and a draw.
Will we get another play, Tom?
Yeah, they've called Darren Jones up as well for the kick out. I'm not sure, does he know why he's been called up? Do they want to just contest the kick out? A win paramount really for both sides. The draw will keep them in the fight, but that extra point so important as kick out goes long from Shane O'Connell. Load of men underneath it. There's a push in the back on Dean Maughan, and Maughan takes the solo and go. We will continue to play. Work to Andrew White. Sends it inside to Owen O'Donnell. Does well to gather the bouncing ball. O'Donnell to White, and they're going to come back around the arc. Can they punch one more hole in the Father Casey's defence, and can they indeed put a huge dent in any hopes they have of reaching the knockouts? It's Shanahan. He carried that ball a minute ago. Here's Coleman going through the crowd. Referee says we'll play on, and now there's the advantage for Coleman. Referee still hasn't blown the free. Now he's blown it, and it is 37, 38 metres maybe from goal, or maybe a little bit less actually, 32 or 3.
Johnny's taking him out a bit further as well, but it is a tough kick. Wind into the face, the wind also going from left to right across him.
Even maybe picked up a fraction. Yeah.
But again, Coleman, he was the fellow who took the responsibility on. He drew the defenders in. He made them make those lazy tackles. And at this late stage in the game, you definitely don't want to see Barry Coleman going inside. It's Andrew White who's stepping up.
Yeah, White has, I'd say, he's knocking out a metre or two there as well. But he's going through his routine. Can the captain deliver? White looking at those posts. Sends it. Has it gone wide? It has. It has gone wide, and it looks to me like perhaps Johnny Murphy is allowing one more play. Yeah, he's heading out, so Shane O'Connell will want a blue jersey beneath this. Clean possession, so vital. Up they go. Breaks to Meade. Hand passes it off to Delan. Rathkeale coming up with the big plays in the last few minutes. Can they kick the winning score? Jack Hennessy works it to Dean Maughan. Maughan, left-footed, has skewed it. Oh, it's just about kept in play by Owen O'Donnell. I thought that was heading for the car park. Hand pass back, and there is the draw, the full-time whistle. I don't know who's happier here. 11 points each, Tommy Stack. What did we make of that?
Tom, I probably think it's a fair result. I think there was momentum for both sides at various stages in the game, but you'd have to say that I'm sure when they both go back and they look at the video evidence this week, they'll probably be disappointed with their performances. A lot of the play was very lateral in attack. There wasn't that much incisiveness. There wasn't that many guys or many situations created where we could get one-on-one. The counter-attacking simply wasn't there because the ball wasn't shifted out of defence quick enough. But at the same time, you'd have to give real credit to the likes of Barry Coleman for creating that last free. Mikey Morrissey thought an exceptional game. He would have been my man of the match. And for Father Casey's just sticking in there. They were 4 points down with not that long to go. Sticking in there, creating those opportunities, those 1-pointers, 2-pointers. It probably was a fair result for what went on in the game. I'm sure both sides are disappointed because they know that 1 point here isn't magic in their hope of qualifying for the next stage. But at the same time,
it keeps them in the fight, though.
It does both sides. But there are tricky games to come for both sides. But it keeps them in the hunt. It keeps us all interested in what's going to go on the last round of games. And I think I feel like both sides will just be a little bit underwhelmed by their performances today. And I think you'd agree with that as well, Tom.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, Ula will be the opponents for Rathkeale in the final round, and Father Casey's will meet in the Pierce League. Tommy, I have one final job for you. Your Mike O'Connell Menswear man of the match here. I know when it's a draw, it's difficult to know which way the cards should fall, but who were the standouts here? Maybe who maybe just that touch above the rest?
Well, for Father Casey's, I thought Sam Quigley had a really strong game against Barry Coleman, and he was involved the whole way through. I thought Mike Kilbridge there at corner or half back, and Mark McCarthy had excellent games as well. Throughout there were really solid players from Father Casey's, but I thought the best guy in the field made himself available all day long. Got a few very, very vital scores. Was involved in many 1-2s that created good opportunities for Rathkeale as well. I would give Mikey Morrissey man of the match. Thought he was exceptional all game long.
Very good, yeah. Mikey Morrissey so is the Mike O'Connell Menswear man of the match. We'll try and catch a word with him, or indeed someone from the Rathkeale camp momentarily. Tommy, I must thank you for your company. Thank everyone here in Fiona Castlemahan GA, and indeed everyone at Stream Sport for their assistance this afternoon. We will have the highlights for you, and we'll try and catch a word from the Rathkeale camp in a moment. Doing a bit of a skip first and now going into it, and beautiful strike, puts it up lovely. No one's close to goal. We'd expect Barry Coleman for the ones from distance, but immediately White dusts himself. Little option ahead of the ball. David Clancy is on it. Now they've worked it inside to Morrissey. Mikey Morrissey does well into the scoring position. Morrissey off his left. Brilliant strike. They work it now over to this side, and here's Adrian Enright. Yeah, worked now nicely. Here's Reardon from a much more advantageous position, and he just about measured it and dropped it.
Rathkeale in the first half, probably looking at maybe getting an advantage if they're to have a proper chance going in at half time.
Yeah, that's for sure. As brave defending, and here is the other me. That's Andrew. Back to Barry Coleman.
There it is.
Outside that arc. Coleman, has he done enough? Oh, yes! Well, it's another double. Coleman going through his routine, puts plenty of loft on it. Has it come in? It has. 2, and his ball worked inside to Quirk. Gives it off to Adrian Enright. Enright off his favoured left. Is that going to go too far even? Is it going to stay in? I think it is. It's there. Ball breaks to Mead. Andrew Mead off to the races. Mead. Jinks inside, coming onto his right. Andrew Mead is going to cut one over from there. Gives it the roar when he kicks it. Jerseys converge on him. Nothing doing, and the play will continue. Ball. Oh, it's been broken back to the number 10. That's Dylan Quirk, and Dylan Quirk curls it. Ewan Buckley, he's going to get there with him. Coleman surging through, shugs off the marker. Coleman and passes it off around the back. Is a chance of a goal. It's a saved, and
a major say in what goes on in these matches, and every point is valid. Here's Andrew White with good opportunity.
Yeah, makes absolute. I'm pretty sure it's for 2. He goes short, sends it inside. They were all expecting the shot. Coleman into a much more shootable position, and Coleman turns away. Reardon moves it inside to David Ward. Ward bearing down on goal. Ward is there. Rathkeale chasing impacts, and it's flashed over the bar, and finally Adrian in. The men from Abbeyfield. Floats it up there, lovely. Never in doubt. The super split, putting them double scores up, but now they're under serious pressure as Rory O'Brien carries it through. O'Brien, advantage coming. Moves it off to McCarthy. Danny McCarthy. And they've worked it across to Shannon. Here's Coleman, little nudge in the back, looking for a free, but nothing doing. Here's Mead, a lovely jink in a feint, and curls it over. Brilliant loop. Of course, gone are the days of putting 15 back and just clogging it all up. Here's Eli Reardon looking for the equaliser. Reardon, he's got it, I think. Yep, he has indeed. Big moments for both these sides. Rory O'Brien is carrying it. Rory O'Brien, is he going to steady himself? O'Brien, is he going to curl it in? It's got over the bar. It's Rory. They've worked it through. Shanaher bearing down on goal. Shanaher hand passed it off. It's Wilmot drops it. Oh, great save by the goalkeeper. Referee is on the case.
In a legal fashion, but a chance here to level it up again.
Yeah, we will not have much more after this, I suspect, as Andrew White lines up the free, knocks it over the bar.
Since 1979, Sean Hennessy Expert Electrical Superstore has been your trusted name for all things electrical. From the latest TVs and appliances to everyday essentials, we've got quality, value, and expert advice all under one roof. Sean Hennessy Expert Electrical, trusted for over 40 years.
You're very welcome back to Quaid Park here in Cooley. We are delighted to say we're joined by Mikey Morrissey of Rathkeale, who's the Michael O'Connell menswear man of the match. Mikey, the obvious question, so is it a point lost or a point gained here against last year's beaten county finalist Father Casey's?
Look, it feels like, I suppose, that it's a point lost, to be fair, because the draw was kind of no good to us, really. We were going guns blazing to get the win today. Look, I suppose we tried our hardest, didn't end up with the result we wanted, but look, we can kind of hold our heads a bit high. Last year's county finalists, like, tough opposition, and look, I suppose we need a bit of luck now to get out of the group, but I suppose the first year up senior is kind of the main aim is to stay up, like, but just we give it a go now to try to get out of the group, but hopefully results can go our way. But
yeah, you're one win and a draw now. I suppose it's been in baptism of fire, really. It was Monleen the first day, but I think you've probably learned since that day, and you've learned game on game. You put it up to the county champions of there. You got your win against the Piershig the last day out. So every day, I suppose you're hoping to improve and hoping to learn. And is it fair to say that that's happening?
Yeah, I suppose that Monleen game we were very disappointed when we came away from it. Like, we didn't think we should have lost by 6 points. It was a game that we were going for, and look, it was supposed first game out senior. It's always going to be tough, and we probably just didn't step up to the mark. Lost 2 points today. Look, I know we can say we win close, but it's still a loss. Like, we still need to get points on the board. Boys, I was missing for the Pierce game, but the boys gave an excellent performance, got a good result, and it was all down to this game, really. Look, a draw, it's no good to us, but hopefully now.
Yeah, I suppose it's about finishing out the group, no matter where it takes you. You have to play Ula are in a similar position actually with a win and a draw. So there's plenty of stake for both sides, because even we know now with the new format as well, 5th and 6th is into relegation semi-final. So the very least, a win will put you into 4th, and as you said, you hope then you might sneak you into 3rd. Yeah,
I suppose the new regime now is it's not great that it was just coming up senior and the bottom 2 teams going to semi-final. Like, but look, I suppose it's down to the Ula game. If we get a result there, it might keep us safe, so hopefully.
Okay. Mikey Morrissey is the Michael O'Connell menswear man of the match. It's Tom Clancy signing off here in Quaid Park. Thanks to everyone here in Fiona Castleman for their support this afternoon, and we'll be chatting to you again on Stream Sport soon.
Since 1979, Sean Hennessy Expert Electrical Superstore has been your trusted name for all things electrical. From the latest TVs and appliances to everyday essentials, we've got quality, value, and expert advice all under one roof. Sean Hennessy Expert Electrical, trusted for over 40 years.